Hey guys, have you checked out that awesome brewery located on 941 West 18th Street?
Jake, I'm glad you said something. Paul, you're reading my mind.
Mm-hmm.
We've enjoyed their flavors for a long time, right? They have a new beer coming out. It's a Belgian single. It's called Neon Moon. Oh, please go by there and check it out.
To that.
It's very sexified.
Oh, that sounds sexified. I like that name.
Yeah, Neon Moon, guys. Check that out.
Isn't there like a country song called Neon Moon?
Yeah, it's Brooks and Dunn.
Oh, is it?
Oh, I was thinking of John Mayer.
Nope.
That's Neon.
Yeah,
that's what
Neon.
I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
Eureka Heights replenished my refrigerator. For my birthday
Tenfold.
party. Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
we're sipping on some of that. So thank you so much to them.
Absolutely. Great beer.
Oh, yeah.
Family-friendly environment. For your next event, please check these guys out.
So on October 18th, 19th, and 20th, Pandemic Tour is happening at the NRG Center. We will be there. We were there last year, and we had so much fun. Yours truly, is looking forward to Sean Astin. He's going to be there. If you don't know who Sean Astin is, don't reference Lord of the Rings because I've never seen it.
Lord of the Rings!
Toy Soldiers.
Okay. Have your Toy Soldiers.
I know. It's one of my favorite flicks, and I did say flick, shows my age, right? But
sure.
When I watch that movie, it takes me back. It's like that nostalgic feeling that you get whenever you watch like Saved by the Bell. Like a great episode of Saved by the Bell.
Just like when you watch Lord of the Rings, too.
When was Lord of the Rings made?
Early 2000s.
Yeah, it's not as old as Toy Soldiers.
Yeah, I know, but it still has like the nostalgia feel for me.
Toy Soldiers has Will Wheaton. You know who Will Wheaton is?
Yeah, sure.
That shows the age right there, too.
Also, Sebastian Stan will be there.
Yes, for your Marvel Universe fans.
For your ABC wine-drinking soccer moms, Milo, the father from This Is Us. The Phelps twins from Harry Potter.
There you go, the Phelps ones, yes. Jason David Frank.
Yep. Who's that again?
The Green Ranger. How dare you, man?
Ultra Carlos Salazar.
Wow.
Also, what's his name?
What?
The Punisher?
John
Bernthal?
You'll be there.
Thomas Jane?
No. Be there?
Oh, how dare you.
What?
Actually, I like that one. I didn't mind that.
Me too.
With John Travolta? I didn't mind that.
I like it too.
Well, you thought the guy that played in Blue, Blue Shark or whatever the hell?
Yeah, Ray Stevenson wasn't too bad as well.
What did Samuel L. Jackson say? Deep Blue Sea. There we go.
Let these
we would
not.
We would not.
Let these motherfuckers
have
sharks.
a discussion right now. The fucking shark eats
just
him.
comes up.
I'm pretty sure he said motherfucker in there.
Yeah, of course.
Something in there. Also, Jason David Frank will be there.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, my bad.
Do I need to turn your headphones
But I
up?
just fucking said. It's okay. Some of us are just selective hearing. You know?
So yes, Pandemic Tour is
Jason
a
David
weekend.
Frank's going to be there too.
You said that too.
I know, selective hearing.
He just,
kind of bust my balls. Now,
Jeremy Piven canceled.
Jeremy Piven? Oh, it is Houston.
But
I mean that in a bad way. He probably just said that. I'm quoting him, all right? That's what he said. Probably. Not really. But I wouldn't doubt it.
And then there's some WWE chick.
I think I've heard through grapevine. Seth Rollins. Do y'all know who Seth Rollins?
Seth Rollins.
He will be there.
Okay.
At Pandemic Tour. Along with Becky Lynch.
Now, are you going to go up to these folks and get autographs and all that?
Nah, if I get an autograph from anybody, it's going to be from Sean Astin. I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah, don't be like me and what I do.
John
years
Bernthal,
ago.
Jason David Frank. Sean Patrick Flannery, cool.
The Green fucking Ranger, dude. You're not getting the autograph.
He was there last year. I did it.
Okay, so
Ray Park will be there. If those of you did not know who Ray Park is, he's Darth Maul.
Yeah.
I believe he's Toad. X-Men.
Okay.
So there is another announcement coming soon, which we don't know yet. Piven canceled. It's fine.
It's okay.
I would have given him shit for Smoking Aces anyways. I love Smoking Aces, but I would have just given him shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was
man.
a good movie.
Depart. Oh, man.
How about an old school?
What is her damn name? No. Alicia Keys. Holding a 50 cal?
She's a dime. Easily. Dime sack, right, Paul?
You sure? Yeah.
I'd leave my whole family for her, bro.
I don't deal with dime sacks. I deal with fucking vape pens and shit, right? I know.
Yeah.
We get it, bro. You vape. You're cool.
Oh, I just got that. Fuck you. I love you. You bastard.
So, check us out whenever you go to Pandemic Tour. If you see us, say hi, because I'll have a camera.
Please punch me in the face. I have a very punchable face.
And you will be on our YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
All right, folks, here's a 411. Previous episode, we discussed about CHS and made a couple of, maybe, some mistakes. I'm going to clarify, but I just want to clarify as well. Again, reiterate, this is not a smear campaign against weed. This is just purely theories and speculation at this point, but just want to let you know it's nothing against marijuana. It's just observing and hearing reports.
This podcast contains explicit language and is intended for adult audiences. The views and opinions of Gentlemen No Class are strictly for comedic purposes and should not be taken literally. For instance, like this disclaimer. Now grab yourself a pint and enjoy.
Welcome to another episode of Gentlemen No Class, a podcast that when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. I'm Jake.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Big Josh.
And like it or not, gentle ladies and gentlemen, we are the host of this podcast. What's going on?
Yeah.
Man.
Them dicks.
Hey, Rob. Hey, sure. Rob. What's going on, Rob?
He can't speak for himself. He ain't fucking here.
Oh.
Too bad.
Oh.
Sorry, Rob. Rob, if you're listening to this, I guess I love you. I mean, I don't know what to say. What do you want me to say?
We love some Rob.
We love
We love some Rob. We
love
it
in mild doses.
We love it even better when he's not here.
Rob, I love you in heavy doses
Just
like
joking.
heroin.
Yeah, no, that's great. Now, Rob.
Hope you're doing fine,
Yeah,
baby.
he's doing sexified.
Yeah.
He'll be in on this next episode.
Right.
Yeah.
And you definitely do not want to miss that one.
Don't.
Just a teaser.
Yeah.
Just a tip.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Just a
a
tip.
tip. It's going to be great.
Absolutely.
At least we
I
think
can't
it is.
wait.
No, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
So what's up, guys? What's new? Anything?
I'll tell you what.
You turned 34 for some reason.
Why
I
you gotta
don't know
tell my
why.
age?
That's right.
I don't know. I wasn't talking to you.
You looked at me.
Called
though.
yourself, and nobody, and
That
they
was
can't
your
see
fault.
that in here, though.
You acknowledged me.
Yeah,
that
you
wasn't
called
my
yourself
fault.
out.
I see. Yeah.
You called yourself out.
Yeah, damn it.
Happy
Yeah,
birthday,
so I
baby.
did
Happy belated birthday again.
Thank you.
That's
yeah.
right, man.
We had a little shindig at the
A
soiree.
soiree. A soiree.
Yes, we did.
It was funded by Eureka Heights Beer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out again.
Yeah.
Leftovers right here.
Yeah.
Amen.
We drink some.
Cheers.
And we had leftovers. That just shows how old we are.
That's my stripper name. Leftovers.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You going to use that one day?
I use it all the time.
Oh, but you're a current stripper.
Right. So when I go down to the Galleria, it's dulce de leche. But when I'm in kind of that humble area, it's leftovers.
Leftovers. Got you.
Humble area.
Well, there's
Okay.
a there's a little short story that I'm gonna roll with.
Oh, go
At my
ahead.
bachelor party, Josh was there. Well, you were there too, Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Paul was there.
But at the strip club,
Oh, my God.
Josh was talking to the stripper and he's like, you know what? Guess what, baby? I name my unit
The truth.
And guess what? Go ahead,
Yeah.
finish it.
Sometimes the truth hurts.
Their faces are great.
Oh, yeah. It's a little dick joke
Yeah.
we always like to tell.
Oh,
but I
yeah.
will say this.
A little dick.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we
He said it, not me.
I did say it. So when we immediately walked in, the one said, they all tell you their fake name, right?
Yeah.
So they said, "Oh, my name's Athena," and I was like, "Oh my God, girl, my name is Zeus." Yeah, we had a good time that night. It's a short little story. We had
That
a good
is
time
the
that
appropriate response. My
night.
name
It's
is
the only
Zeus.
response, right? What are you supposed to say to that?
Yeah. Most guys would just cave, but no, man. You stood your ground. You said, "I'm Zeus, baby." Yeah, fuck you, whatever. But yeah, that was
So
great.
forgive me on my my lack of Greek mythology, but what if we
Absolutely.
got like a whole bunch of guys? What's that one?
They call that
Medusa with all those snakes.
with the snakehead.
Yeah,
So-
so-
That's a woman, but I think.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, we get all a bunch of
Yeah.
guys. Like, guess what, guys? We're Medusa, and we just whip out our dicks.
we should do that.
and blind them,
Well, no.
Well, no.
turn to stone.
If there's Athena, there's Zeus. Then I got like 9 of my guy friends.
Jake just wants a bunch of dudes with him with their dicks
Yeah,
out
of course.
That's cool.
Around
Why would
his-
you not want that?
in
And
or
why don't
around,
you guys have for your birthday? There's plenty
in
of
or
us.
around his face.
There's plenty of guys at your birthday.
There's plenty of dudes.
Sausage fest.
Sausage fest for Monet.
Well, I gave Paul the responsibility to bring the girls.
That's true.
Yeah, I failed miserably. They didn't get the fucking message. Probably
Yeah.
sent it to me through smoke signals. And
Speaking
I
of-
can't receive that
I will
shit.
say this. Speaking of Greek mythology, there were a few Medusas at the party, player. I don't know
Yeah.
if you brought them, but they were
Oh,
there.
Jesus. I didn't bring shit. That was
No,
not me.
I know. I'm just messing. So, hey, let's talk about something that's a little bit,
What are we talking
it's
about?
uncomfortable. We don't want to talk about it.
What's that?
Well, I want to talk about it.
Ooh,
Let
let's
me guess,
talk
football?
about it.
The NFL's back.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
me. Yeah,
The
I
NFL's
don't
back.
care.
Today is the first
Preseason game.
Yeah. Well, who watches preseason though?
Everybody.
Ooh,
Really?
somebody's getting
Everybody who's
shamed.
interested in football. But
Not me.
There's a lot of bullshit.
Well, before we get into that,
Go
before
ahead.
we get to preseason, I'm not calling anybody out, but I know
Yeah.
I'm in a fantasy football league,
Are you?
and you are too.
Uh-huh.
Fantasy
We haven't got shit
football.
rolling, and yet I'm supposed to be watching these games to see. Okay, maybe I should start this guy or pick this guy or whatnot.
Well, you
we
should.
We kind of should be.
Well, no. You don't want to draft until you want a fantasy draft
Yeah,
until
but we're not
probably the
watching the-
third season
But
or
is it-
third game. Sorry.
Okay, I'm throwing out my baggage there. I'm just venting because I don't
Right.
think we even have a draft date yet.
We do.
Do we?
It's in the group chat.
Is
You
it?
just
Just failed
Yeah.
to watch it.
well, your cricket phone, bro. You got to get a yeah. But yes, there's a draft date. It's at Ethan's house. It's all explained in the.
Is it? No, okay.
Yeah, it
maybe I
is.
just don't give a damn. Maybe
Well,
I always
no,
wait.
man, it's just-
Hey, I finished third. Where did you finish last year?
What do you mean you finished third?
I finished third. I think I finished above
edging?
you.
You did finish. No. I traded to help somebody out because they had a baby.
Oh, so you're that low in the fucking.
I was. How many titles do you have?
Hey, this is the first time we played last year.
No. How many titles do you have?
That's the first time we played last year. What are
That's
you
the
talking
first
about?
time you and I have played together.
Yes.
That's the first time
In
you
this
and
league?
you
In
and
this
I have
league?
played together.
No, in this league.
What
Hey,
about the
Ethan
other
throw-
leagues? What about the other leagues?
That's just fucking asterisks everywhere.
There's no asterisks.
No fucking.
There's no
Yeah,
asterisks. You've
okay.
never won. You've never won.
Because we
Not
never
one
played.
time.
We never played.
Okay. Yeah. See, he's laughing right now because he knows the fucking truth, but that's all right. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so I got my own soundboard here, Rob.
Yeah,
It's like that.
Too bad.
Too bad.
If you guys listen to other episodes, Rob boasts about his soundboard, but I got mine.
Yeah, his soundboard is. Hey, Rob, how you doing? Yeah.
Current events. Anybody got anything?
Current events.
Oh, well,
Oh.
no, I don't. Well, you
It
guys
is.
go on. I'm gonna let this last one. What? I'll wait for it because I got a lot to talk about it. But
Yeah.
you guys go on.
Oh, go ahead. I'm still
No,
thinking of
no.
one.
It's a good one. It's a movie. I just want to wait till you guys.
Quentin Tarantino film?
Yes.
Is that the one you're talking
Yeah.
about?
I mean, go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
go
fine.
ahead,
Fuck
Paul
it.
Mooney,
You know,
go ahead, yeah.
I saw Once Upon a Time in Mexico, Hollywood.
Whoa.
That was a good one too.
That's a good one,
Spoiler.
too.
Yeah,
That was
that was Robert
that's a
Rodriguez.
Robert Rodriguez
That's
flick,
Robert
right?
You know, they're
That's old
friends.
Roddy,
Robert
yeah.
Rodriguez, Tarantino.
That's how you got it mixed up, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
No,
Phenomenal movie. If
They
you're
kinda
if
go
you're
hand in hand, though.
yes, they're good
Tarantino and
friends.
Robert-
Yeah, like their styles,
Style, yeah.
little. They got their own, but I could see what their worlds together. They blend pretty nice.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
But I love fucking Tarantino and love his fucking films. Raph is
What's
the
his,
one that got
what's
me
his
into his-
favorite? What's your favorite film?
Yeah. What's
Favorite
your
Tarantino?
film?
Man, Jackie Brown is really fucking good.
Jackie
I love
Brown is
Jackie
solid,
Brown,
dude.
I'd probably say Jackie Brown, maybe Pulp Fiction, but Jackie Brown's really up there. I never get tired of watching it, and the soundtrack's fucking
Yeah,
great.
that is
I
really
love
good.
it. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was, one of his, wasn't his best work, but it's definitely up there, and it's really good.
Is this his last film?
No.
He says he's going to make 10. This is his 9th. I think he always thrittens that
He
basically.
also said Hateful Eight was his last one, right?
Yeah,
Right, he
but
did.
he said, he's been quoted in interviews saying that, I've heard it, he just wants to make 10 films, but what's really killing him is the everything's digital now in filming, and he's sticking to the film,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of people in Hollywood they're not using film as much or sticking to digital, and like the more
So it's tougher to produce that kind of film.
but
Right.
he's the way he looks at it is just the less of it is, the more I guess I don't know. He just seems like he's less interested in doing it, pretty much. And like he
Good
just
for him.
loves like actually film.
Yeah, good for him.
So that's why he releases a lot of stuff. Like there's some that come in like Hateful Eight was in 70 millimeter showings, and that's like it's an 8K, and that's amazing. And I think Caleb went to go see that.
Oh,
A
did
buddy
he?
of ours,
Oh,
anyway.
yeah.
But yeah, the movie's great. If the movie's basically follows Leonardo DiCaprio, which is
Spoilers.
Yeah,
spoilers.
Rick Dalton.
Spoilers, yeah.
and Brad Pitt, his stunt partner, and the days leading up to the Manson murders, or Sharon Tate and all that stuff.
Oh,
like
nice.
what is what we know.
Yeah.
But what's amazing about it, and mainly about Tarantino and his films, which I would love to do the same thing one day. But I love the fact that he has like supposedly all his films are connected. It's his universe, and most of his films, it seems like they're alternative realities, alternative timelines. Like just different.
Right.
Whenever it takes place, it's almost like an alternative timeline. Like
the difference between Kill Bill and Hateful Eight.
Well, yeah, like Django Unchained and
that's my favorite.
Yeah, it's like and then Inglourious Bastards. Like that didn't happen. It was based on some true things, but it's like an alternative reality. Like,
right.
The way how Hitler went out, like that's not
right.
how he went
Nobody
out.
machine gunned him to the face.
But it's
that would
interesting
be awesome.
to see him play that.
Right.
So,
right.
Once upon a time in Hollywood, it was no different. It was the same thing, and how a lot of the events happening or end up, leading up to the murders and whatnot, and what you think is going to happen doesn't happen, and it's amazing.
Classic Tarantino, right?
Yeah, and spoiler alert, like you said, the ending was fucking great. It was a long build up and a lot of good character development, but the ending fucking paid off. It was just so fucking great, man. It's funny, like these hippies.
Nice.
The portrayal of hippies back then, and I don't know. Just my dad would tell me about it, and it just seemed spot on. And I love the alternative reality of what ends up happening. If you don't mind me telling you what happens,
no, go ahead.
I will tell you. So spoiler
Not
alert.
at all.
So, folks, if you're listening, please don't hate me, but I'm going to say it anyway.
We've said spoiler alert.
Yeah,
times.
spoiler alert. Yeah. So,
yeah.
We all know, if you know pretty much about what happens, what really did happen, the murders, Sharon Tate. I believe it was Sharon Tate. I forgot how many people got killed. What's her name? The Folgers heir, the Folgers coffee, right?
Yeah.
The daughter, the heir, of Folgers. Heiress. There we go. She was involved with it, and I think maybe two other people. Anyway,
right.
At the end, it focuses on Leonardo DiCaprio gets in a confrontation with these three hippies that go in the same street where, I forgot the name of the street. It's a famous street. I forgot what it's called. Anyway, they're outside. They're wanting to these hippies. They want to kill. Roman Polanski. I'm sorry, Roman Polanski's involved with this as well,
right?
But he wasn't there at the time.
Did he make an appearance?
Yes, he did. Yeah,
the actual Polanski.
Yes, yeah, and it was somebody playing him.
No.
But
so not the actual.
There's an actor playing Roman Polanski.
Was he with a kid or something?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
wow.
but basically, they want earlier in the film, Charles Manson goes to this house where they thinking where an old friend used to live, but it turns out it was Roman Polanski and some other people, and he was trying to ask where these people are. It's like they don't live here anymore; they moved out,
right?
And he was
fuck off my lawn,
pretty much, yeah. And he got pretty pissed, so he informed his fucking followers that go to these people and kill them. So when they're trying to do that and investigate where these people were at their house and they want to kill them, these three hippies. Sorry, there was four of them. Anyway, Leonardo DiCaprio goes outside, because he lives next door to Roman Polanski,
right?
And he's pissed off. He comes out in a robe and he's got he's making a margarita, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? It's a private road. Get the fuck out of here. Like, oh, I'm sorry, bro. He's like, no, you're just a bunch of fucking hippies trying to smoke dope in the dark. You got lost. Get the fuck out of here. It's a private road, and they're fucking pissed. They want to kill him, but they back away. So they alter their plan, and instead of killing those people in where Sharon Tate lives, they decide to take the revenge on him and whoever's in there. So they change their plans. They go in there, and it's just a violent, classic Quentin Tarantino, bloodbath, and it's fucking great, man.
How the turntables.
Yeah, it's big time, and the characters who get killed, and you briefly get to know them a little bit before it happens.
Right.
It's within that scene. It's maybe 10 minutes before that bloodbath
right,
happens.
So no development. You just get to know who they are.
It's for those characters, but when it happens, when it's displayed, those characters, they got what was coming to them. That's all you needed to know from those 10 minutes of getting to know them and knowing what they're about, what they wanted to do.
Right.
And what ends up happening to them is just full on, just you when you're watching, you're like, man, fuck these fucking hippies. You fucking want them dead, you know?
Right.
So they go in there and Brad Pitt's in there and he just fucks them up and it's just fucking great. It's really, really fucking violent. And it's just an alternative, reality. It's just what if it's just Quentin Tarantino playing and exploring the idea of like, I'm pretty sure maybe he felt bad like for what actually did happen. So taking revenge through in his film and his storytelling
to this alternate universe.
Yeah, alternate universe.
Nice.
These fucking people get beyond fucked up, and it's fucking. It's
Tarantino
like
fashion.
Yeah, in Tarantino fashion, and it's also comical too. Like it's so
Right.
violent, it's also comical. And like that's his style. It's over exaggerated,
Right.
But it's just very entertaining, and I don't want to go too much into it, but that's pretty much the gist of it. But
Nice.
it is just a phenomenal movie, man. Like it's a little.
What's your
drawn
rating
out.
on that one?
Yeah, what's your rating?
Well, on the top of my head, I mean, I can't really, provide exactly where I get my points off of. Like, that's just too much to get into. But on top of my head, maybe 1 out of 10. I say 8 out of 10. It's
very
really
nice.
good.
Really?
Very nice.
8
Yeah.
out of 10.
Yeah.
Now,
it's really good.
what's an example of like a 10 out of 10
I don't know.
for
It's-
you?
For me,
For you,
there's a lot of things that have to come play.
The Bodyguard?
like The Bodyguard.
totally.
But I don't know, on top of my head.
Top of your head.
See, here's the thing though. Like, I kind of
Not just Quentin Tarantino, but movies
Right,
in general.
of course,
What's
I
a
know.
10 out of 10?
Yeah, but the thing is, when I probably do maybe give a little too much credit for some people, because like I just love, I'm really passionate about
Bias.
storytelling. Yeah, I'm not trying to
Absolutely.
be biased about like, but
No.
when it
That's
comes
why.
to
That's why it's up
artistic
to you.
expression, like
Absolutely.
as an artist too, like I
So
try not
what's
to.
a-
I try to be fair.
Sure.
But what's a 10 out of 10
What's
for
a
me?
10 out of 10 for you?
I don't know. We talked about this a while back.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think like what's one of my go-to movies. Casino. Yeah, like that's a good one.
Yeah, so you
just-
have 2 movies on a desert fucking island. I don't know why that scenario exists, but it does.
Yeah, people
Which
say that.
2 are you taking?
I don't know.
The Notebook and what other
The
one?
Notebook. I never seen that.
Titanic.
Titanic. I never seen that either.
Fucking loser.
Maybe like one of your French girls, Jack.
Yeah. I don't know.
Are you taking a Tarantino film?
Let's see. That's too hard. Yeah, I'd probably say
You would. That's
It'd
not too hard.
It'd probably
2 movies.
and it'd probably be Jackie Brown.
Okay,
while
so
we're
you're
talking
taking
about
Jackie Brown and another one. Give me one more. 10 out of 10.
Man,
Really?
that's pretty hard putting on a spot.
We're going to go
right
round
there.
table, 2 movies, Desert
Really?
Island, Paul
Okay.
go.
think we
Jackie
went through
Brown. Yeah, we've kind of done that
But I
before.
don't remember.
Do it again.
I'm trying to
updated
think. Like,
version.
there's just so many movies I fucking like,
No,
man.
bro.
It's just hard to.
2.
I know.
Jackie
That's
Brown.
why it's difficult. I don't know. The only thing I can think on top of my head, honestly, right now is Groundhog Day.
Oh,
Okay.
you did mention that thing before.
I love that movie. I never get tired, and it's funny because it happens over a day. He lives a day over and over.
That's funny.
Again.
That
But
is. That's super ironic.
it's the message and what you can learn from that film about self-realization. And even monks recognize the movie as it praise it for that reason, because of self-realization.
Sure. What months, though?
I'm just, I don't know.
What movie
I
were we talking
read
about? The
it.
Mummy?
No, I'm talking
Groundhog
about Groundhog
Day?
Day.
Groundhog Day. Sorry.
I said monks.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
sure
mean, but like what
exactly.
monks, though?
I can't be specific. I don't know. I just read it
Right.
on an
On
article.
Reddit.
Not Reddit. I read it somewhere in an article saying that monks praised it for
Busting
saying its
balls.
positive message about self-realization, and just the fact that Bill Murray's character, he goes through so many cycles, like, because he lives everything, he goes through the same thing over and over. He goes through like the pleasures of like enjoying it at first, willing to do the fact I can do anything, get away with it, and then after a while he gets tired of it. And he gets depressed and he gets sad and he kills himself and so many times. But then after a while, he starts to realize, like, well, if I'm going to be here, I might as well do some good about it. And
There
that's
you
the
go.
whole point. He ends up he ends up being positive about it. And eventually, like, he does it for so long. And I still don't understand exactly what breaks the curse, but I guess he does it so much. Eventually, the curse breaks and he finally goes to February 3rd. And not relive Groundhog Day again, and I don't know. It's an amazing movie. I love it.
I like it.
Harold Ramis did a phenomenal job in that film, and so did Bill Murray. It's just a great fucking movie.
BM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
BM.
Bill Murray.
Oh yes. Yeah.
He gets me.
Yeah.
The hell was that?
I don't fucking
Pablo,
know.
what do you got?
Oh, you talking about
2 movies.
2 movies? Godfather.
movies, Desert
Godfather
Island.
would definitely be on one.
Godfather, the first, second,
First one,
third?
first one.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So there's this YouTuber I follow called Casey Neistat. I'm sure if you go into YouTube, everybody knows who he is.
Uh-huh.
And he had, and I stole the idea from him. He has on his screensaver on his computer, he has Godfather 1 looping throughout, on as a screensaver.
Awesome.
I stole that idea from him,
Nice.
and it got me into appreciating that movie. I'm like, I always loved that movie, but when I started like watching it in detail and over, I'm like, wow, there's not really any flaw. There's no flaw in this movie. The only flaws maybe is the cheesy fight scenes. So you could tell it's super fake. But I mean, I don't need to see a detailed fight scene. I know what's going on. The guy's kicking, Sonny's kicking fucking Carlos's ass. I get it.
Right.
But that'll definitely be top one. That's an easy 10 for me. Godfather,
Really?
the first one.
Okay.
Second one, I mean, probably Casino, Braveheart, maybe. I'll die. I'll die a happy man with any of those two.
Nice.
Right.
Either.
I want you to
You
know
always
at
profess your love for Braveheart.
at your funeral, I'm going to throw a Scottish longsword. I want you to know that.
Just make sure it hits me in the face.
No.
It'll
land on
hopefully.
a random grave, dude. I'm doing it outside. I'm not going to do it in the church.
I'm not going to do it in the wake?
No, I'm not going to do it in the
I was
wake.
thinking that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Just make sure it has that right amount of
It's got to
sway.
give,
Yeah, it has
it'll
to
be a
sway
windy
a little
day.
bit. Yeah,
the
for
day,
sure.
the next day after you die, it'll be a windy day. I promise you. Love it.
You were tiptoeing to
Love
that.
it.
Yeah.
See, that was natural.
Nice.
I like that.
Snippet from that.
You know what? For me, I would have to say Goodfellas for sure.
That's a good one.
It's gone with me. But
I never get tired of that.
I never
either.
get tired of that movie.
Yeah.
Show me your fucking shine box. Oh, that's epic, man, epic. And then probably either. Ooh, I love Top Gun.
What a loser.
No,
I'm sorry.
I love Top Gun. But you know what? Honestly, I'd probably want to take a comedy.
Yeah. What would
You
be
know,
your comedy?
if we're thinking drama, because Goodfellas would be more. Now there's a comedy in there.
Yeah.
But
there's comedy. Yeah.
yeah, but at the same time, Django Unchained had a little comedy in it that was just epic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so, oh man. But if I had to take a comedy with me, I'd probably take The Campaign. Maybe
That's funny.
Yeah.
Maybe Step Brothers.
That's a good one.
Maybe Wedding Crashers.
That's a good one too. Yeah, those are cult classics for sure.
Yeah, cult classics. And then and Vince Vaughn just gets me on like a spiritual level. I think
The way he talks, it flows so well.
epically funny.
It's like a monologue. When he talks, it sounds like a monologue.
Yeah, you just want to hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Very nice. I'm surprised you did not bring up any like when you're talking about Tarantino, like you didn't bring up Notorious Bastards.
Inglourious Basterds.
Inglourious Bastards. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Inglourious
Well,
Bastards.
yeah. No, that's a good one too. It just, like I said, I like and love a lot of things. It's hard for me to really pick because I love a lot of things.
I love that German guy in the beginning.
Iglo Stiglitz.
That's it.
Into the Nazi boss.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah,
he's amazing in those he's in two Tarantino films, right?
Well, I'm saying in general.
I don't know.
No, I'm
what
just
other
saying,
one? I
He's
know he's
in
in Inglourious
Django.
Basterds.
He's
He
in
is?
Django. Hell yeah,
Which
dude.
scene?
He's a fucking dentist. He's a dude that rides around with Django.
Oh no! I'm sorry. You're I was you mean
So in Inglourious Basterds,
no.
he's the Nazi hunter guy.
Yeah, the Jew hunter.
Jew hunter, right?
Yeah, no, that you're talking about. That's not Hugo Stiglitz. That's that's the character's name in the
Christoph,
film.
you're talking about,
But
or?
yeah, that's the actor.
Yeah,
but that's
the
not
actor is
the guy. I was
like him.
I was talking about the other. The crazy, the German, the one.
Oh yeah,
the one that
yeah.
gets, he goes like he's just a badass. He like
when they kill him and like in front of everybody. You talking about like
he's the one they recruit. They get
They recruit him out of
he's in jail.
or
Like and
something,
they recruit.
Oh, I'm thinking about the one
they
that's
get him, they
loyal
capture
to
him.
Germany to the very
rescue him.
end.
No. Well,
I'm
that's
talking
the
about-
one. That's
we're
the
talking
one
about that
I'm
one-
thinking about.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
But the one Paul's thinking about is a guy they recruit from jail, and he gets shot the fuck up in that
that bar scene, like
that
because he
pub
starts
scene,
off like
yeah.
Nazi boss and fucking and then bam, just bloodbath and everybody dies, but a couple of people. Well,
Yeah, it's
actually, fucking
The hell?
everybody dies, but that one guy.
My favorite Brad Pitt
And
line
what's
from
her
that
name?
movie is he speaks the third best Italian,
Yeah,
speaks the second best Italian, and he says like one word in Italian.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Yeah.
I told you I speak the third best Italian or some shit. It's funny.
Yeah,
so.
he kind of has like southern kind of country accent in
you know where he's
Once
from.
Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Well, you know where he's from, right?
What's that?
Brad Pitt.
Real life?
Yeah.
Well, of course, yeah. I thought you were speaking about the character.
No.
No.
New Orleans.
Where?
NOLA.
Oh,
yeah?
no
No?
shit.
No.
Nolans.
No shit. No wonder it was easy for him in Benjamin Button.
Right, so he has this
Waterfall.
development on the other side of West Bank, I think, where
heard
what
about this, yeah.
where what he did was he got the top 10, I don't know, architect students from some school in New York, had them design homes, and then built those homes.
Yeah.
For
And
people
gave 'em
down
away.
there. Yeah, gave them away.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Epic gesture, man. That was
For
legit.
sure.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Meet Joe Black?
I have. I like that movie.
I just saw that like maybe 2-3 weeks ago.
Really?
Fantastic. Long as fuck.
It's a great film. Yes,
3
it's long.
hours.
It's long.
It's a love story.
Yeah.
But it's a good.
It's
I like the way it's
great
set. though.
film.
Yeah, I never seen
It's not a
that.
bullshit love story.
No, it's not a
good-
bullshit
It's a
love
good
story.
story. It's a good story.
The message there for
Man's love
It's a love
story.
story.
sure. Yeah.
It's a man.
Any other news? Anything on the headlines? No. I know
I mean-
November 12th, Disney Plus is dropping.
Oh,
The who?
really?
Yeah, Disney Plus.
Did
that's
they make that
right.
announcement
They
recently?
made the announcement.
They
I
did.
think recently. Yeah.
Oh,
When's
nice.
the 31st? That was yesterday.
The
Yeah.
Simpsons, man. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, they're also talking about that, but they also talk about how they're going to have the obviously the prequel trilogy, the
I've heard
original trilogy.
Oh,
of Star Wars.
absolutely, absolutely.
it's crazy because I remember we talked about this like in earlier episodes, but I said I was kind of making a prediction about Netflix and how essentially they're going to take over because like everybody's going to streaming, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
But and I just made that I just made a prediction that I saw that Netflix would eventually to gain or maybe even get more control and to gain more subscribers, they would eventually make it free to where people pay for premium and then it free with ads.
Right.
I mean, they haven't done
yeah.
that, but I mean, I just thought. But the point I'm trying to make is because you brought up Disney, right?
Yeah.
I was reading somewhere that because Disney's eventually they're withdrawing everything Disney related in Netflix, and Netflix is losing Friends and The Office, and they're losing a lot of things, and supposedly they're losing a lot of money and a lot of subscribers recently, and I couldn't believe that. I was like, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of like a slow game, like they're. Because there's a lot of other, HBO too, that reserves their shows and certain movies as well. So like they're kind of a heavy hitter as well because they got some great fucking shows.
True Detective.
And so
Boardwalk, Sopranos,
yeah, a lot shitload, yeah.
Yeah.
So Netflix is, all they really got is their originals, and it sounds that they got some great ones, but I've just been reading that they're losing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to lose too much. I mean, I get it, but you also said, and I hate to call you out on this, but you also said how you said Instagram was going to be the next Facebook.
Yeah,
and
I was wrong.
But I get it. I mean, there's more streaming services.
Well, there's still a competitor.
Like,
now, what if
I mean,
Netflix buys HBO?
Oh,
I
Of course,
don't know.
it's based off what
They
ifs,
seem
right?
like they're
Right, that's a
they're
lot
pretty
of what
stern
it
on
is.
what they
but
want.
we'll see because right now
They get desperate.
cable's on the decline.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
big time.
obsolete.
That's
So-
what I'm saying. Like
you
everybody's
can
going to
almost
streaming.
get it. You can almost get it free. Or I'll tell you what. I just did this. You get a way better deal on internet through your provider if you add cable, and it's like I just switched
Like a
mine up. It's
loophole?
like $50 a month through
Kinda going
Communist
through, like,
through
back doors
Communist
and shit.
Cast.
Communist Cast,
Cast.
Yeah, so
What's it
Communist
say?
Cast has like some deal where if you have like their internet and then their cable, because obviously if you bundle you get a better
Right,
deal.
right.
Yeah.
$60 a month, and you
Yeah.
get like 150 megabytes per second or whatever download speeds. It's not bad, but at the same time, without that, if you just did the internet, it's like $20 more expensive. So it's
Right now
they're kind of making you take the cable
of course.
kind of deal.
But see, they also are bundling up cell phone deals with that. There's
Right,
Xfinity
yeah, right.
Mobile, which
Yeah,
I'm hearing people talk about it because they use the Verizon towers.
yeah.
And
Well,
the
they all use
reception-
each other's towers. I mean, Simple Mobile
But-
at Walmart uses whoever.
Isn't that draining the coverage or saturating it?
Maybe,
Or just,
I don't
or
know,
Really
but-
just,
But
Something
with
like
the Simple
bandwidth.
Mobile and the Boost Mobile and all that stuff, I hear a lot of people complain about calls being dropped and stuff like that.
yeah, because
With
their
Xfinity,
carrier
there's
service
something
is
with
not
the
that great.
but with the
bandwidth or something.
Xfinity Mobile, it gets great reviews. No one drops calls or anything like that, and a lot of them are saying that they use the
That's
Verizon
new.
towers.
New to me. I mean,
So
Yeah.
I haven't looked too much into it, but
I might switch then. Now.
Exactly,
Xfinity Mobile.
If they're
That's
Xfinity
crazy.
Mobile, so they're
Yeah.
they're tapping
So-
into the cell phone provider business, and
Oh, they got to because they're getting
Yeah.
desperate.
Everybody has to diversify. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just the name of the game.
Diversify.
Diversify. But that will be, that's the thing, though. I think you've seen it in sports, too, right? Because with NFL.com, you can go on there and
Yeah.
watch the games. MLB, same thing. I mean, it's happening. where it's all coming out where people are saying, well, I don't want to put my stuff on your platform. Fuck it, I'll just stream it off mine and get subscribers to my own shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, they already have like an ESPN Plus app where you can actually buy pay-per-view, like the UFC fights.
Right.
You could buy them through the ESPN Plus, and you're able to, like, I guess, own them or something like that.
Yeah.
But it takes away the cable provider.
Yeah.
And paying the cable provider.
So you're gonna have 45 subscriptions.
Yeah, that's
that
what
cost you
someone said. Like
$5 a piece.
like.
But look at the content you're going to get.
Right,
as
you're right.
well.
Because
right,
it's
you're
also
right.
like you got to think about like the cable channels. Like there's so many bullshit channels most people don't watch. It just comes in packages.
Right.
Versus
QVC,
like when
shit
you
like that.
you go to streaming, like only people are like I only watch this. So like they just want one or two things. But,
Right.
but some people then like I have multiple. Like I'm pretty sure you guys do.
Yeah.
I got
The
Amazon.
Oprah Winfrey Network. Everybody wants that.
Oh yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
wants that.
It's just but it piles up and
Harpo.
then it's I think essentially like if you know what you want and get what you need, it'll be cheaper with like Josh you were saying about just simply just the internet provider, and then since you got
Right.
that, like we'll just get the streaming services that you want, and then you're good to go.
Well, what you do is
Get someone else's password.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what people do.
But
too,
Look,
man.
the three of us at this
That's
table,
fucked up.
I'll have 5 subscriptions.
we're
You
good.
have
We're
5. You
golden.
have 5, and we can
Yeah.
log in and do whatever we want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing about the cable TV is that they have like channels like Viceland. And
Right. Yeah.
you know, I didn't have Viceland up until I kind of renewed my contract because I was expired already. So I kind of like, all right, let's get 2 years in, and I'll get a steel deal. And then they gave me like 100 more channels. Right.
Here we go.
Viceland was on there, and I'm glad I got it because I've been
Really?
meaning to watch The Dark Side of the Ring, and I don't know if you know about that, but
No, I
that's,
don't.
It's a documentary series that talks about the bad shit that happens in wrestling. Like they talked about the Montreal screw job. They talk about
Yeah.
Moolah, the woman wrestler, how she, based on that documentary, was a piece of shit. She kind of pimped out these women wrestlers to her husband to kind of
What?
Damn.
advance
dude.
in their career.
Can you now? Hold on.
Pimped
Yeah,
Because
Like,
I
you gotta
watched.
sleep with this guy, and
Oh.
everybody has to do it, but your career will advance.
Well, because here's the thing, though. So
And she had like
Viceland-
she had like a cat house style deal where you come in, you live, we feed you, you pay for you pay for a fee, but we'll feed you and we'll teach you the art of wrestling, but you also have
You gotta
to
fuck
sleep-
my husband.
something like that. Yeah.
Screw
Go ahead.
my husband.
Well, I was going to say, is the Viceland channel and those documentaries any different? Because I've watched all those Viceland documentaries on YouTube.
Okay. Oh yeah. I think that channel's called Vice. That YouTube channel is Vice.
So
Yeah.
it is Vice. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I
Is
don't
that
know if it's
different from
I
Viceland?
think it is
Shoddy
different.
journalism.
Yeah,
but
shoddy journalism. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think it's different.
Okay. Okay.
But they also talked about like Gorgeous Gino. He actually went to Spring Branch High School, which is down
Really?
the street from us, and he was
Really?
killed for whatever reason. Apparently, he was in some dealings in Houston, like
wow.
because he was born in Houston and he was raised in Houston, and he was wrestling out of Houston with Paul Bosch.
okay.
There's another like Bruiser Brody, how he was in Puerto Rico and he was in the locker room. Apparently, there was some dealings in this circuit of wrestling that didn't go his way, but he was demanding a lot of shit. Where he goes into the locker room and this guy that was extremely jealous or kind of called him out on a lot of shit killed him,
Oh,
Damn.
shit.
and they like this guy
This is
Tony
here?
Atlas. No, this was in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Tony Atlas, another wrestler, took him to the hospital, and then he went back to the locker room, and everybody was laughing like nothing happened. And the guy that killed him was right there, sitting on the damn bench, and he called the cops, and like that's the fucking guy that killed, well, at least stabbed Bruiser Brody. This guy was huge in Japan, and he ended up dying. So that's another episode. It's like these documentary series are some crazy shit that happened in the world of wrestling.
So you found some real value on this.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Absolutely.
It was enough to where Megan, my wife,
Uh-huh.
doesn't like wrestling that much. I
She
had to
got into it.
She
Yeah.
fucking we binge watched it last week, and she
Hell
really
yeah.
wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
And
That sounds like
she's
it's
the
got
one
some
that was
good
calling
production.
it. Like, hey, let's watch the other one. Let's watch the other one.
Wow.
Wow. That's
That tells
freaking
you
awesome.
something. Then
Yeah.
they got, like Josh said, value.
Also, then do you find that moving forward with those type of channels available to you, will that eventually become something you don't need because you've already watched all of Viceland, or because you've watched, you know what I mean? Like, does it become obsolete, or do you feel like it's over time there's still that same value?
Well, right now, if I have it, I would love to show you guys, and we can watch it. Right? That's the value to
Right.
it. Like I can
Okay.
show other people.
Right.
Would I rewatch it? Probably not.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's hard to say because I have WWE Network and I watch old school wrestling matches that I watched like tens and times, and I still watch them. So
That's true.
I don't know.
That's true.
It's interesting.
But with the platform, and that's the thing, you know, I think we're in a struggle right now between all these people and these platforms providing the best, most relevant content. And with Disney coming on the scene like they are, they're an instant, you know, Netflix size and larger operation, right?
Disney is Disney, man.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They're definitely larger,
yeah,
but at the same time, you know, they're going to have to. They're going to have to, I don't want to say struggle because they're not going to struggle, but they're going to have to provide relevant content like everybody else.
Right. And I think they will. I mean,
yeah.
Okay, so like, I would love to see Angels in the Outfield.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
with Danny Glover.
Hell yeah.
And it'll probably be on the Disney Plus. There's this movie I loved, and it's called me cheesy, but I don't know if you guys remember the movie called Iron Will, where he's a dog sled racer.
Yeah.
I think that sounds
back in the day. I loved that movie when I was growing up. You can't find that anywhere. I'm sure it's going to be on Disney Plus. So that's what they have.
Yeah.
I'm going to subscribe to it because
I'm
of
actually
shit like that.
looking forward to older films like that I
yeah.
haven't seen in a while, man.
Yeah.
I like that.
Exactly.
I love
like Little Mermaid.
Childhood, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. I want to see Ursula. Yeah, I want to see that fat bitch in 1080p.
I want to see her
Okay.
8K.
Yeah, 8K, baby. Yeah, Quentin Tarantino style, baby.
I
8K,
see that bitch in
shit.
3D. Yeah, come on. Well, so it sounds like we're all going to subscribe to that.
Yeah, Simpsons too, man.
So
I
everybody
can't
check
wait.
that out.
Yeah, for sure. Disney,
Yeah, we're not.
Disney Plus.
We're not. Disney didn't pay us to say this shit either. So
No, but it'd be
Disney
nice
pay us.
though. It'd be nice.
Pay us, Disney, you fucks.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
well,
sure they would love that.
Yeah.
What?
No, I'm pretty sure they would love that too. Yeah.
They don't fucking care. They don't know anything about us.
They might,
this won't
though.
surface.
They might.
What's the problem?
Hashtag
I'm
Bangladesh,
I'm
baby.
praising them. I'm just said fucks.
Sure. No.
They would
absolutely.
call Michael Eisner would call me a fuck too.
I don't know.
Probably a piece of shit. That's more to my liking.
Well,
Okay.
the direction we are going is more platforms. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
And,
yeah, Disney, help us out.
We'll
Come
see
on,
how it goes.
help gentlemen no class out.
Hashtag
Disney wants to be-
Bangladesh.
I don't think Disney wants to be affiliated with a name like that. But hey, you never
Hashtag-
know.
You know what?
Might turn a cheek.
I'm going to update. Hashtag Bangladesh has changed to hashtag Netherlands.
I want to go there.
Yeah, we've had an uptick. Shout out to all the
Yeah.
Heidi Klum looking bitches out there.
Yeah, Netherlands.
In
For
the
some
Netherlands.
reason, you like us. That's cool.
Hey,
I want to go.
We'll do a live
invite us.
podcast in the Netherlands.
For whatever reason, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe governing of something. I don't know.
Well,
And that's asking too much. But give us, give us anything.
Well, we'll have a topic.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely have that conversation
Yeah.
in the
or
Netherlands
Amsterdam.
with you.
Amsterdam's cool.
Amsterdam's not bad, but
Yeah.
some of us
God
have
damn it,
good
I wanna
jobs.
smoke
We
weed so bad.
can't go there. Yeah, we can't do that. Well, speaking of
Yeah.
Paul Mooney, let's segue into the next topic.
Yeah. And before we get into it again, just don't want to be a dead horse.
We already had the disclaimer. Screw your second disclaimer.
That's not a disclaimer. I'm just saying, I don't,
okay.
like you said earlier, we're not trying to beat a dead horse and trying to
Right.
repeat ourselves from the first episode, and
Right.
just recap on some of the things, but also discuss some things we didn't really get too much into detail. So basically, if you didn't listen to the first episode, I discussed my episode of what happened to me of having what is called Cannabinoid Hypermesis Syndrome. And to recap, basically, I was in hospital for 16 hours, and I had stomach pain for those 16 hours. It was very terrible, and the doctors came to the conclusion that it was me smoking weed. And that being said, and I don't think I said it in the first episode, I'll be honest, I abused it pretty bad for a year, and I came to the conclusion.
So you were a chronic user.
Yes, I was a
Right.
chronic user. Yes,
Absolutely. Okay.
and it's been over 6 weeks since I stopped, and yeah, I abused it pretty bad, and so basically going
Like, would you say once a day, or how many times a day?
Yeah,
would you say?
it was just-
let's set the tone.
well,
here.
like I said, it was pretty much every day,
right.
every day.
So once a day.
Yeah, no,
Consistently.
more than once a day. It was
Oh.
every day, but
Okay.
every day for sure.
Okay.
It could be one from like I don't know. It was a vaporizer,
Okay.
so it was one. I don't know. It was it was a lot.
Right.
Let's just put it that way.
Right.
Okay. So, what is CHS? Cannabinoid Hypermesis Syndrome is a condition that leads to repeated and severe bouts of vomiting and abdominal pain. What causes CHS? Okay. In the brain, marijuana often has side effects of CHS. It helps prevent nausea and vomiting. But in the digestive tract, marijuana seems to have the opposite effect. It actually makes you more likely to have nausea and vomiting. Repeated use of marijuana, repeated use of marijuana, certain receptors in the brain may stop responding and then eventually goes from preventing nausea to causing it. It still isn't clear why some heavy users get the syndrome, but others don't. But stress is definitely a factor in this, and that's one thing I didn't mention. And a lot of people have been saying stress, and I'll be honest, at the time I was a little bit stressed, and I'm pretty sure it was a contributing factor.
Really?
And yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. And when people, when they, it's very scary. Like I was talking about from the last episode, because people
Right.
when they don't know they have this, people are often stressed about it too, and like it just triggers it. And when people don't know about that, and when they are stressed and they don't know, like it can be due to stress. It's a vicious cycle. So, but the body's reaction to it. Cannabis affects the CB1 and CB2 receptors, which are found all over our body. Our receptors are essentially have been overworked by the consumption of too many cannabinoids. So, I smoked so much, basically, that it became toxic in my body. Essentially, like we're talking, it was like almost like allergic reaction to it.
Okay, so you built up your system was kind of overloaded by too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Too many cannabinoids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so what's hurting, is the cannabinoids. And that includes CBD, CBN, and THC.
Huh.
Not just one or the other. It's a combination of all.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, the best thing to do, to stop this from happening is just to quit until we actually have a cure. So,
Can I touch on something real quick?
Go ahead,
okay,
yeah.
So I found a little bit of information like we talked about previously, where the World Health Organization publishes a journal, and they had 3 separate articles in which they discussed, CHS.
Yeah.
And the contributing factors were chronic use, and the way that I understood it was more like a weed allergy, right?
Yeah.
So if and you and I have talked about this as well. If you can drink however much you can drink,
Right.
I can drink however much I can drink. Those are 2 different levels.
Right.
It's the same thing with marijuana use. Is the way that they made it sound.
Yeah.
So your marijuana consumption over that year may have built up those cannabinoids in your system, and that was it. That was the limit. That was was your body.
For me, yes.
Right, for you. That
Correct.
was your body telling you to stop.
Yeah.
So what is tricky, and I think it's important here to mention, is that with other users who are, because some people say, well, shit, I've been smoking every day for 30 years and never got anything. Well, your body deals with it differently.
Yeah.
I also can't drink beer and alcohol every day. I can't do it. It'll kill me.
Yeah.
Some people can.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's their thing.
Yeah.
And the way that it was explained was that basically in these 3 separate articles, and then a doctor, shoot, I knew I was going to forget his name, but the way that they said it was basically your body builds up this amount of cannabinoids in your system, and basically your stomach, that the part that opens in your stomach that leads to your small intestine is stopped.
Yes.
It won't open.
Essentially, like it's paralyzed.
It's paralyzed.
Yeah.
Or those receptors you were talking about
Yes.
are stop working.
Yeah. It has a connection to our digestive tract.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So then everything you've eaten is just sitting there with your bile and the stomach acids and everything that's produced, and then you eat more because you don't know.
Yeah.
Then you eat more and more and more and more. Mm-hmm. The contributing, or the main thing in the interviews, which is 100% how they diagnose CHS, is they say, what happens after you take a hot shower? And people freak out because they go, how did you know I was taking hot showers to get rid of this pain?
Mm-hmm.
So it's hot showers and enemas that essentially do that. But you get to the point with the hot showers where you're on the hottest setting, trying to make your body feel better.
People have reported burns,
right?
Because of
you get third-degree burns, trying to make your stomach feel better,
right? The relief from the pain. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So then, but essentially you're hurting yourself because you're building up a tolerance to this terrible thing that's happening, and it's a small thing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you're absolutely right. So stopping absolutely will help.
Yeah.
But I think it's like with it, and I also want to point out that until now, and something we discussed earlier too, until now, smoking marijuana and everything else has been kind of I don't want to say sporadic because people have been doing it for a really long time.
Yeah.
Continuously, but we're going to face more of these issues, more of these health-related issues as marijuana is made legal and everything else. Not that it's bad,
right? But
I think like with everything else, in moderation, it can be medicinal and it's good.
Yeah, essentially,
anything you overuse is going to hurt you, right?
Exactly, and marijuana, unfortunately, that's what it is. It, like I said before too, like everybody thinks it. It is like this beautiful miracle,
absolutely
wonderful drug,
absolutely.
But unfortunately, like you're saying, everything in moderation, and too much of something can really become toxic. And just for a lot of things, even people can develop food allergies.
Absolutely,
it just happens. Unfortunately, and like you're saying too, depending on on your system, everybody's system is unique,
right?
And depending how your system is and what whatever it takes. How long it takes, it just all comes down to the individual.
Right.
So, I've been reading, I've read somewhere recently too, and I'm going to say this too, folks, is because studies are very limited, and Josh said he came across some, but I have not come across any, not to say that it's non-existent, but he was saying he came across, but I've been really mainly focusing on actually talking to people.
Right.
And somebody was telling me, I was reading where they got it down to where they can continue to smoke. Like I was saying last week or last episode, that within certain diet changes and certain lifestyle changes, people were, they can say they continue to smoke, but it will return. But this one guy was saying he got it down to where the symptoms are very minimal. So,
right.
But the thing is, it's still there, and it's still, it's still going to hurt you.
Sure.
Like, and like you said too, everybody's different. Some people can maybe tolerate it better than others, but I see a lot of people really trying to, it's just people are just in denial. I hate to say it, and it's what it is, because I was too, and it's scary that people need to just really understand this. Like, they need support when they realize they have it.
Right.
It's just because the attachment and just getting so used to it. And I'll be honest, like for me, I was abusing it. I was very chronic, and like I was having fun with it, and I took too much.
Sure.
And to accept it, it was very difficult. And a lot of people reporting, and a lot of doctors have been saying too, like ER doctors, people just cannot fathom that this is happening to them because of weed. And it's understandable, like I said, because this is so new, and it just, it's a very difficult road, but it can, you can do it. It's just going to take time. But a lot of people it's just like a denial phase people are going to usually go through when they first hear it, when they're diagnosed, if they think that's what they have too.
Right.
Because it's very tricky too, because people can also, there's something called CVS, not the pharmacy.
Right.
It's psycholytic vomiting syndrome. I think I'm pronouncing that wrong.
Cyclical?
So psycholytic. I can't pronounce shit. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Because that's very similar to CHS, but people are often misdiagnosed from
Absolutely.
that. So, you see either one. So there's also possible complications because of that. And that being said, like let me see here. The possible complications, CHS, There's also, muscle spasms, weakness. People, have seizures, kidney failure, heart rhythm abnormalities, and in very rare cases, brain swelling. So, but everybody's different, like we're talking about.
Right.
So it just.
But I think too, you have to think about, because here's the thing, right? Coming from, so think about, let's stop and let's think about an avid chronic user, right?
Yeah.
So somebody who's, who smokes a lot of weed for
Tommy Chong, maybe?
Tommy Chong.
Yes.
Let's do that guy, right? So, I'll even throw out this option. So there are people who, let's think about the medicinal users, right? You have to it's one of those things. You have to look at it. We watch the commercials for medicine and you say, oh, okay, I'm going to vomit. I'm going to diarrhea. I might want to kill myself, but I won't have the cold.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Trade-off. Like
Right. And so
it's
you
terrible.
go, and so you're going, okay, well, a lot of chronic users are treating everything from mental illness to those same seizures and nausea and things like that.
Yeah.
And then you go, well, if you do too much of this,
Yeah.
it might go full circle, and it might be causing some of those things you're trying to treat.
Yeah.
Because I've saw some studies on babies who are given, not babies, kids who are given this. It's either CBD or THC. It's one of those chemicals, right? It treats convulsions and things like that.
Well, I wanted to say one thing else too. Like,
right.
The last episode I was talking about, it was just THC, which is it's part of it, but it's what it really is the cannabinoids. If it's got cannabinoids in it, because that's what the CB1 and CB2 the receptors is. If it's got cannabinoids in it via smoking, vape, edibles, even CBD oil,
lotion, whatever, right?
Like I said, it's also CBD, CBN, and THC, so it's got cannabinoids in it, and that's the point. And the cannabinoid receptors are so overworked because of that. And like you were saying, it's connected. It's connected to the digestive tract, and if it's got that in there,
right,
then it's possible CHS will have if you getting it,
right.
It'll happen. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, but
Is it cannabinoids or cannabinoids?
It's.
They're both.
They say it both.
Okay.
Cannabinoids.
Tomato.
Cannabinoids.
Yeah,
okay.
it's yeah.
I'll just clarifying. That's why I hit the effect.
I appreciate that.
I interrupted you.
No,
I'm sorry.
you're
What were you
good.
saying? Do you recall?
I don't.
Damn it.
I don't at all.
Rewind.
You're welcome.
I know. Thank you for that.
But like I said, a lot of this stuff, unfortunately, like I said, I haven't run into any studies. It's just purely theory and speculation and observing. Some people even say secondhand smoking can trigger it.
Really?
Yes, secondhand smoking can fucking trigger your CHS symptoms.
There's so many. I'll tell you this.
But like I said, it's all anecdotal. Take it for what it is. But I'm just what people have been reporting and people I've been talking to. That's what they've been saying.
Oh. Well,
So
but that's but that's how you do it, man. There's a lot of because it's only I read something that said the earliest case of this legitimate case is 15 years ago.
2004. Yeah. But besides, also there's one article saying 1983 was one guy.
Maybe.
Yeah. No. Well.
No way to prove it now.
I think there is.
Maybe.
Did he die or something?
Article.
Did he die?
No, he didn't die.
Oh.
Well,
how
here's
can you
the
not prove it anymore?
Is he living now?
Yeah, he's still alive. That doesn't mean he's dead. I said this in the last podcast. He suffered it for like over 20 years. He didn't know what it was till he found out.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, he was suffering for 20 years, and then he find out in 83?
No, it was in 83.
He first showed
when he
symptoms.
first showed symptoms of it. He didn't know what it was, so
But it could have been.
When he was describing to his doctors the symptoms, nobody never heard of it.
Right, in 83
So-
they just go, what did you
Yeah,
eat?
so
Right,
like he just, but he never. From what I read, he didn't disclose or actually. Well, I had to read it again because it's a very long article. He said that they never suspected the weed, so he never brought it up. He
Right.
never told the doctors.
Right.
So in return, he continued to smoke, but he also
But within
suffered
those
from
20
the
years,
symptoms.
within those 20 years, is
Mhm.
it possible that it was something else
Maybe.
and
Maybe.
it just ruined
Maybe,
something.
but
Maybe.
his symptoms were consistent, the same as what I've been describing, and
Right.
it wasn't. They never pinpointed the weed. He never suspected it was the weed. The doctors and they disregarded it. And,
Well, but here's the thing though. We're reasonable people,
yeah,
right?
Mhm.
If I eat Cheetos every day
yeah,
and then I cancel everything, I go, okay, I feel like shit.
yeah,
Well, what am I doing every day?
There's some dumbasses out there though.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
But I work hard at work. I fucking sweat that shit out. I mean, there's justifications for it.
I
mean,
guess
some
you're
people-
right. I guess you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. You're right.
I don't know.
So
Yeah,
I mean, you're right.
That's fine.
No, it's good.
I mean, you make a point. I mean, because maybe I don't. I mean,
But he dealt with it for 20 years and didn't give up smoking weed
yeah,
because he's not a quitter.
Right.
yeah, exactly. He's not a quitter.
So,
He's not a quitter.
My question is, what if for medicinal use
Right.
and you do have CHS? What's your advice for them people?
I'll let Paul
Those
answer.
folks.
Hold on. I'll let Paul answer, and then I want to
see.
follow
I can
up.
only say so much from
Go
what
ahead,
I
Paul,
read.
Fuck it. Is it juice worth the squeeze? You better man up and smoke that shit.
Smoke that shit.
Yeah.
Get off
Well,
my lawn.
Let me see.
See,
how
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good for.
So while Paul's reading into that, can I get my answer while
Yeah,
you're reading? Okay.
go ahead.
So here's the thing. So just based off of a week of research,
Brian Cox now.
yeah.
well, yeah.
Let's go ahead and take that that credibility down. So I mean, essentially, obviously, what Paul's saying is stop is the ultimate best option, right? So
Everybody and
right,
doctors and it's just
stop doing
unfortunate.
it.
Yeah.
at the same
sucks.
time, yeah, I guess you would just try to control your use.
But see, that's what I was saying. Some people have reported doing that, and it's the symptoms do return.
It comes back, yeah.
Some
sure.
people, but some people say, they claim they've got it under control where the symptoms are mild.
Right.
But essentially, from what I read, every one of them, and the doctors on from on YouTube, and then from what other people were saying too.
Uh-huh.
I know that sounds shitty, but I'm just
it is what it is.
I know it is what it is.
It's all
for-
testimonial,
folks.
so,
It's
I mean,
all yeah.
Right.
Just
They went through it, I
Just
did
take
it.
it for what it is.
Right.
But they just simply said you have to stop.
Well,
It just
with
but
that, you stopped. Didn't you say that you felt it returning?
because of THC buildup.
Okay.
If depending on the person and how much THC has been built up, it for whatever reason, there's certain triggers
It's that-
right here.
well,
Well, and
okay.
Well, because here's the
Hold
thing,
on.
though, and he exercises, and
Yeah.
it's stored in
Yeah.
your fat
That's true,
cells.
that's
Yeah,
true.
There's a lot of
but it's also
releasing
like I
stuff.
said, stress is a triggering factor,
Yeah, stress.
and also caffeine, alcohol, flax seeds, black pepper.
He
black
said
pepper-
alcohol, but he did not say
Yeah.
Eureka Heights.
Yeah.
Note that.
Except Eureka Heights.
Kava, rosemary. From what I've been reading, they said those are big triggers.
Oh, rosemary,
But
really?
luckily for me,
You can't fucking put a rosemary on your
yeah,
steak?
Yeah, my
I
chicken
guess
is
not.
rife.
But that
with
depends on
rosemary.
that just depends on certain people. So for me,
Right.
most of those things, I
So this would be-
caffeine, alcohol, whatever,
Yeah.
even tobacco. It didn't trigger for me.
yeah.
But when I did have two minor episodes prior, my first episode, it was from I was coming after from one time was from an exercise, one time was I just woke up and it felt like the same thing again.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
it just depends on the person, but then also like I said, those things I've listed, some people are just more susceptible to the other things. It just depends on the person. Everybody's different.
So it sounds more. It sounds more like almost like a food allergy.
Yeah, and I had
than
this
it is
discussion with
to-
my buddy, and he told me it just seems like, and that's what I've been reading other people saying. We've essentially became allergic to it, and
like in the happening. That's what I've been trying to say.
shut up.
Plants are fighting back. Yeah. Well, I'll say this: there are a couple of YouTube videos because, like you said, right? It's all anecdotal. It's all what somebody's saying.
unfortunately.
Speculation.
Speculation,
theory.
anecdotal, same thing. So, but there's a couple of YouTube videos where there's one guy and one girl where they do talk about management of it. So they talk about the hot showers are a bad idea because it lets you build tolerance. They talk about the enemas, how that's also a bad idea because
Really?
then
Wow.
because it relieves the pain immediately, but at the same time when you do that, you're building a tolerance to that pain, and then your body reacts in kind. It's like if you take melatonin for years and years and years, then your body stops producing melatonin, and you can't go to sleep without it. So, in that same breath, these people they go on there and they say, well, there's one guy specifically. If in the search bar, if you Google or in your YouTube platform, if you do CHS illness, the guy talks about how he has altered his diet. This dude eats a cold when he feels the symptoms kind of coming on.
Yeah,
he eats a cold can of SpaghettiOs.
Oh wow!
See, it's fluid. Okay, it's mostly fluid, so that's easier to go through your digestive tract than like chunks of steak.
Let me ask you this: did he possibly, by any chance, disclaim why he uses? I'm
yes.
just
so his is a kind of an anti-anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
I would say mental illness is what I'm going to say. Watch the video, but I'm going to say mental illness.
Okay. Yeah, because that's the thing. It's like depending on why you use it. Like I'll be honest, for me, like I abused it, like, because I really enjoyed it. Like I really loved.
But was it more recreational or was it more medicinal?
It was more recreational. Like it was.
Easier for you to give up.
Yeah, well, I did use it for anxiety and whatnot, but I figured out other ways to deal with it and cope with it. And essentially, I don't need it anymore. But if I wanted to smoke it, it'd just be for recreational at this point.
Right, it would just be fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
but
since
I love
you
it.
said it. Let me just whip this bad boy out
Please,
now.
I will go to the hospital to prove a point. To let people know this is real.
We'll take
Live
the podcast,
from the hospital.
Yeah, we'll take the podcast
it's
over
Paul Mooney.
Well, I will say this though. So the guy talks about the SpaghettiOs that kind of changes his diet. And then he talks about, he said most people, he personally has to stop for a couple of days, and then he can slowly build back up,
yeah.
I guess.
Let me ask you. Okay, he said that the symptoms return, but it comes mild, like in a mild form, or does he say like the severity of it?
He does. So what he talks about is when he gets up to a certain, I guess, number of times that he indulges per day, what he does is he'll notice that he'll start to feel those same pains or those same symptoms.
Yeah.
Similar to what he did when it first was brought on, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then what he'll do is he'll stop.
Yeah.
He'll eat liquid foods.
Yeah.
A lot of juices.
Yeah, that's what they gave me to,
I mean, they give you
clear,
all that.
Clear foods.
Right,
like
clear
that.
foods.
Yeah.
So easy digestible stuff, mashed potatoes, banana, bananas, shit like that. So
it's a step further, but actually, go ahead.
Right. So what he does is he does that, and he stops. Then in a couple of days, he picks it back up, but it's like he'll smoke once that day. Yeah. And then he'll kind of build it back up.
Yeah. See,
because he does it for a mental illness thing.
Yeah, I understand.
That's the real implication of the conversation, right?
Yeah.
Is the people who do it medicinally, they need that.
Right. I watched a video and this doctor was saying pretty much the contrary of that. Well, maybe to certain people, but he was saying that he's pretty adamant about it. I don't know if I agree with him, but I was just because you're bringing it up. He was saying that, like I was saying too, like life without it for some, and functioning when people use it to help them function. He said there's other ways, and like you were saying, but it just depends on the person. But like it's all like
that was his testimonial.
Yeah, but but it's also going back to like what are you willing to do? Like you had to go to do in order if you have CHS. Apparently, from what we know, in order to continue to smoke and continue to do it, you have to go through extreme lengths to fucking do it. Yeah. It really, you really have to, like, heavy lifestyle change, like you were describing, like this, it was a guy, right, gentleman? Right. Was doing in order for him to smoke or to control his anxiety and whatnot.
Well, it's like everything else, right? Yeah. If you notice, if you notice something makes you feel bad, then you do the opposite. Right. And if it makes you feel good, then you try to continue that pattern. Well, but for people, it's
everybody knows their own body. You know what I mean?
Within moderation, of course.
Right.
It's the same thing. Like, I turn to running for my anxiety, my depression, and regulate my ADHD symptoms. But if I overdo it, it's bad because I can really hurt myself. Absolutely. So I can, I have to keep it to a minimum, and I have to take breaks too because my body needs rest.
Are you guys able to drink milk?
Yeah.
See, here's the
I
deal
love
too.
milk.
Like I
But are you able to drink it?
I have.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think I'm lactose intolerant. I love milk.
Like
I
a whole
love
milk?
cereals. Yes.
Well,
Like
any
whole
milk.
milk
I was
or like
Doesn't
2%
matter.
or whatever?
Even I love skim milk, and
Yeah.
that's apparently that's not good, right? Any milk's not good. But
Dairy.
when I reach a certain age,
Uh-huh.
when I have milk, it tears my stomach up.
Yeah.
When I was a
that's where I'm
kid
at
and
right
when
now.
I was younger, I would tear the shit out of some milk.
I can drink.
So
the
what I'm
fuck
trying
out
to
of
say
some
is
milk.
like, there are times where I want a bowl of cereal and I know how much I should be drinking.
Oh, right.
And I overindulge on the cereal
Oh,
portion.
I gotta
me too,
hydrate
me too,
these-
big time.
But
I want to hydrate these cornflakes, but how much
I
milk
love
can
milk,
I
too.
get away with?
But what I'm trying to get at is like maybe I'll try some almond milk or some soy milk. I don't know.
You show
But-
me the tits on
but
an
you-
almond, and I'll drink that milk.
But everybody knows their own body, right?
Yeah.
And like
Yeah,
how
yeah.
Paul said, moderation. You may have to go through some extreme lengths,
Sure.
to get what you want.
Sure.
Maybe not. Who knows? But I mean, what
Yeah.
works for
Well,
you,
see,
Paul?
Well, but
Yeah,
I think
I
with
think-
more cases and things like that going on,
Yeah.
excuse me, but I think you're going to see more, just like milk, you can't drink it, right? So there's options for you out there that are
Yeah.
kind of milk.
Yeah.
I think you're
Well,
going to see
that's-
the
stuff
shit they
that's
sell
like
at the gas
Yeah,
station that
and I
has
think
seizures?
that's
no,
think-
bro, almond milk.
I think that's where that doctor, what the doctor was getting at, what I was saying. There's substituting essentially for whatever the reason you use it for, depending on what you use it for. Like I said,
Right.
there are other options, and it just I hate to say it, but some people,
Maybe.
some people are in denial,
Sure.
and some people are just abusing it. Like I was, I hate to say it.
Well, sure.
But I'm not. But that's not everybody, of course. I'm
Hey,
not.
that's-
I'm just
abuse is
but-
subjective. Let's
yeah.
be real.
Okay.
What
well,
is?
But that being said, there's options out there. It just
Right.
Well,
sucks.
for some.
For some, okay,
For some.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Because
there's
some
still,
people have searched
but
for
there's still
anticonvulsive medications
Yeah.
that don't have that option,
Yeah.
and then have found THC.
right.
and
But
it's this
unfortunately,
miracle
for some
thing.
of those same people, they
Right.
can't do it because of that.
well,
That's
or
unfortunate.
they find a way to live through
Yeah.
the symptoms, kind of a deal.
Yeah, it's
Is the juice
terrible.
worth
Like
the
that's
squeeze?
who
There
the
you go.
people I feel bad for the worst who legitimately are using it medicinally. They need. I feel bad for them. It's
Right.
and I've read the stories of people that, like I said, they use it and it's just for medicinal use and they can't use it and they feel so lost and distraught and it's just terrible to read that.
You want to be honest though? I think if this is enough of an issue, like if this right affects a certain number of people,
I think it's gonna get that eventually.
I think
yeah.
if it does, you're going to see a new class of medication.
yeah.
For
Like pretty much like going back to the milk.
right,
Like there's gonna be almond weed.
right.
I know that's a bad example, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you get what I
Right.
mean, though.
Right.
And that's a good point,
I don't get-
Jacob.
I like what you said right
like
there.
That's
Almond weed.
Yeah.
No, I like
But-
that.
Soy weed.
The
soy weed.
soy, fuck soy. But anyway, soy boys, yeah, don't fucking be one.
No.
But Jacob, you said like for other things for like alternatives possibly. Well, for certain problems like for acid, I can't pronounce it. It's can you help me out here?
Oh, just say it. Just say it. Just try it.
Yeah, Gavis. I can't pronounce that.
Oh, Gaviscon.
Gaviscon, yes.
Acid, is that for acid
And then
reflux?
for
Okay.
sleep, Benadryl,
Oh, yeah.
nausea,
yeah.
drama.
Benadryl. That's great.
Drama. I can't. Damn it! I can't.
Dramamine.
I got
pronounce
you.
it.
Come on.
Dramamine.
Yeah.
Oh, Dramamine.
Yes.
Dramamine. There you go.
Yeah. And
Hold on.
magnesium
Right,
for
right.
Close.
anxiety,
You're
moodiness, cramping, and depression. Magnesium does help a lot for that. I can attest to that. For some of it, it does help a lot. That's a good alternative.
Yeah, that's a
okay?
good alternative. But there's also a whole. There's
Okay,
three different
I know.
classes of medication.
I know, but
yeah,
it does help
Yeah.
a lot. For
There's
anxi-
alternatives.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. There's
okay,
alternatives.
Yeah, it's not the only thing, but I'm just offering for other people,
Sure,
like just
sure.
to know, like magnesium does help.
sure.
And Capsian, that's that's spelled CAPZASIN cream. God damn it!
You said that in a certain type of dialect.
Yeah.
Cap.
It was like whoa,
Capsian
whoa.
cream. That's for stomach pain. That's a topical cream. The rub on your stomach for the
Right,
stomach
right.
pain. Some people report that does work. Some people report it doesn't. So
You know what?
just go
Something that's
either
probably
way.
not on your list.
An Imodium for diarrhea, of course.
Like
There you go.
placebo.
There's
Um,
something that's not on your list. It's Mueller root juice, but
Yeah,
you got to come
Mueller.
get it out.
Have you
What's
ever
that?
seen Space Jam?
Mueller
Mueller juice, but you got to come get it out.
Oh my God!
Have you ever
Mueller.
seen Space Jam?
I have.
You know Jordan's secret stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What if it's all like mental? Like you think
Oh,
it
it's a
works,
placebo.
Yeah, placebo. That's what I said.
Well,
Like,
a lot of things are too. Really.
right.
Eh,
I'm just saying. Like,
maybe.
what
A lot
if
of
it
things
is
are.
mental?
Yeah.
You got too much time
Honestly-
on your hands, yeah.
Honestly, well,
I'm not saying CHS is mental. I'm saying
Right,
like,
right.
like magnesium and all this
Yeah.
other stuff. It's like you read about it and then you try it and hey, you know what?
Well, there's probably
It
some.
does fucking work.
Well, there's probably
that's what,
something
that's
to
a
that.
placebo effect. Then that's
Right.
what
There's probably
I'm speaking
something
of.
to that, but long term, no,
I don't-
It's not
Yeah,
sustainable.
maybe,
You know,
yeah.
Either way,
I get it.
I'm a
Devil's
I-
advocate, man. I'm
I
trying.
love it.
I'm trying.
Magnesium definitely does help for that.
Yeah.
I could be I've used it a lot. And that does help.
Good.
So,
Good.
but
So yeah. So
just
so what do you
alternatives.
think? So what do you think? So moving forward, because I want to kind of get a personal perspective on this from you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that there's ever a time that you may, let's say you've done it for a year. Let's say you give it a year.
Yeah, the return to it.
Right.
Well, see, when you
Return of the high guy.
the last podcast when we spoke about this, you asked me too if there was they did studies and they came to the conclusion if you eat this certain root or whatever, just
Right.
that can possibly to eat this or take this and you're cured.
Right.
The thing is too, I thought about that a lot,
Okay.
and even if they say that, which I do, I would do it, but at the same time, like I'm actually pretty frightened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if I take like a year off or whatnot, like it just everybody's different. I don't know how my body's going to react, and I don't know how
Frightened of
quickly
the
it's gonna
return
happen.
of the pain, or
Yes,
frightened-
return of the symptoms come back. Yeah, CHS
Okay.
coming because I mean it's just essentially they say once you have it, it's, from what we know, of course,
Right.
just speculation and theory.
Right.
It's just the fact that I know I've been diagnosed with it, and it's I'm apparently allergic to it, quote unquote.
Right.
I don't know, quoting. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
it still frightens me because I just can't forget what happened
Now,
to me.
what if
Like,
they create a medication and
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's 100%
okay,
that it will not come back.
I mean, that being said, even so, like I'm still a bit frightened because I don't know how I'm going to react to it.
Of it coming back.
Maybe
You're frightened
yeah,
of it.
because I mean, there's a possibility that they say that, but maybe it might not work for some. I'm not, but I don't know that.
Okay, so what I was getting at-
I'm only saying that because I'm just frightened. That
Well, yeah, no. But
my
we're
return, but because at the same time, how much I want to smoke again,
right.
I'm also afraid of it happening to me again, and I don't want it to happen.
Does the lack of research and them creating a medicine in a short amount of time frighten you at all? Like, I create a medicine, it's going to 100% cure you. But obviously, this hasn't been a century-long problem, and we're just throwing
Well,
the research in. And
well,
then
And in
No.
the United States, it can't be researched or
Right.
anything like that.
so
but
what I'm trying to get at is that they create this medicine,
Even
and
if it takes like an X amount of time, like a short
Right.
period.
I
Is that
mean,
what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly, because we don't know the
Well,
effect
that
that's
if-
going to happen 50 years from now, because it
Right.
hasn't
Oh,
been a
yeah, well,
century-long
then,
deal.
no,
that
you're-
type of medicine may create
Yeah.
a third arm, and we don't know, right?
No, you make
That's
a
what I'm
great
trying to
point, and that's
get at.
even scarier.
So
now,
it's kind of one of those things that you kind of have to realize, like,
now-
I'm not going to fucking
yeah.
smoke weed.
Well, now you
Well,
set
but
me back
let's-
even further now because of that. Now, like I thought I was gonna be, a compromise or like I'll be, or just some kind of justification. Like, okay, well, because of the medicine. Now that you say that,
well,
that frightens me even more.
well, no, well,
Do what I do. Sorry.
let's say this. I'll scare the shit out of you. You ready
Yeah.
for this one? So, food.
Food.
Oh,
Let's
well,
say an orange.
Yeah.
So you go to the grocery
Yeah.
store, you get an orange, right?
Yeah, you said this too last time. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I
You know, the stuff that
go
they.
ahead.
So, how much empirical data do you think the USDA
Of
needs
course.
to give? Yeah, it's good to put on food for
Oh.
you to consume it.
Well, yeah,
That's
that's
actually-
why cancer
well-
has gone up for everybody.
Let me give you this shocking ass number. Do you know that there's an acceptable amount of arsenic for your water?
Is that the flammable shit or what the hell?
that's a poison, right?
Yeah, dude, you'll die.
I don't know
Yeah.
what arsenic is.
That's
That's Ultra Boardwalk Empire. That's how they
It'll
try to kill
kill
the
you.
Commodore.
Oh,
Or the
nice,
lady.
nice.
So what? So here's
It's not the
thing.
shit that's going on in Flint, Michigan, right? The
No.
flammable shit.
That's something else.
That's natural gas. isn't it?
That's natural gas
Yeah.
and some other stuff. But I'll say this: so in a certain someone's job,
Yeah.
I mean that person is in the know
Uh-huh.
of certain
Right.
things, right?
Yeah.
So I'll say that there is a certain amount of arsenic that's acceptable.
Right.
Obviously, it's parts per million.
Right.
In your water.
Right, and that's why people. I mean, will filters help at all? Or no.
No.
Really?
Because there's not a filter. You're not fixing to put a Brita filter on that. And
No, I'm talking about like for your refrigerator, those filters. That
Right,
Go,
yeah, no, none of that.
None of that shit work.
no.
Well, I mean, listen,
Now that takes out some of the stuff that may take something out that's not supposed to be there. It's more like a check.
Mhm.
But no, it's not gonna take that arsenic out. Hell no.
Right. I mean, thing is that in this day and age, we have to realize that the chances of us dying from cancer or cardiovascular disease is
Super high.
it's very great. So I mean, you just
Well, because chicken breasts aren't supposed to be the size of basketballs.
right, exactly. So you just kind of have to live with it, right? I mean,
Right.
it is one of those things. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, the original yard bird breast is like, the size of a Pop-Tart, not supposed to be the size of a
Well,
basketball.
and that goes, and we're opening up a whole new can.
It is.
That goes,
It's a whole new
that
can.
goes with
Whole new
Bluetooth.
can.
That goes with the radio waves. That goes with
5G, Ultra Rob.
You know, that goes with
Ultra
everything
Rob.
that we're having. You know, this
18G.
fucking battery operated vehicles and shit like that. You know, all that shit, microwaves, all that shit is within our environment, and
Sure.
I don't think it has been tested.
Well, we haven't been exposed to it as long to see the long term effects of what
Exactly,
you're getting.
exactly,
The same thing going
exactly.
back to if there's a possible cure for
exactly
what you're
exactly,
saying.
exactly.
even if so, like it's just it's still scary and just
Like
but I think
AirPods.
yeah.
That's fucking radio waves that's going.
I
to
love
your
my
head.
AirPods, but yeah,
Yeah, it's going
now
to
you
your-
scared
to your
me.
head, you know?
Now you want to make me throw those away. What the fuck is wrong
Nah,
with you,
give me
man?
some AirPods,
I'm just gonna
too.
abandon my life tonight.
You know
Fuck
what I
it.
Yeah.
I don't
Thank
think
you,
it's gonna. I
Jacob.
don't think it's gonna matter because
Yeah.
I mean,
If
right
you
we
worry
did
now,
about the
before that,
AirPods,
you're
it was
right.
Jake's birthday not too long ago.
oh yeah, what happened with those AirPods?
I was just saying, if Paul wants to throw away his AirPods and get
Oh.
scared about AirPods and radio waves, it was Jake's birthday a couple days ago. No, but I'll say this. I mean, that's the thing. We're exposed to a lot more than people were 20, 30, 40 years ago, right? We're opening up that whole can of worms, but
Yeah.
but
Down a rabbit
I'll to come back a little bit. I think that I don't know. I mean, would you go with like to touch on what Jake was saying, if there was a part of something that you could do that you could believe in, that you knew 100%, this is not going to let me have those symptoms anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? I don't think, and I think you've kind of answered it. It's not
Yeah.
enough to make you go back and do that
Well,
at this point.
yeah, because I mean,
It could change, but at this
yeah,
point, no.
it could, and it's all but the intent. Like, why do I want to do it? Like, why do I want to return it? Why did I do it in the first place? And like I said
Why
earlier,
do people get the flu shot?
Right.
Well, for me, like why I smoke marijuana, like I said, occasionally it was because of anxiety and some little depression, but it was mainly more recreational, and I love pairing with music and taking honestly spiritual journeys. I use it as therapy as well.
Right. I'm
But
with you on that.
I've
I get
actually at this point I've
Sit in the teepee and
substituted
chill.
a lot of those reasons I just cited why I took it with other ways of doing it. And it's not to say I wouldn't want to do it again, because it really enhances a lot of. I mean, I love taking those spiritual trips. I love pairing it with music and just and creating ideas too. Just even for writing, it's just amazing.
Right.
It just something really has to convince me. The results have to be so convincing for me enough to where I get it. I'll do it again. It just depends on what's available. And I'll be honest, even though I say I'm frightened, if there's something announced and or there's something they told me that I can take, and they told me that you should be good, I'd probably jump on it.
Yeah.
Even as frightened as I was, it's because I really do enjoy smoking. I mean, it's just it's amazing. Like I said, I'd rather smoke than drink the rest of my life. I just something I saw more positive, more. Yeah, it seemed a lot more positive effects to me. Like the more I smoked, even though I smoked a lot at times, when I came down off it, it was a nice, slow, and a comforting landing. Versus when I drink way too much, my energy is so drained. I like it's just so. I feel so disgusted. And it's not knocking on drinking. That's just me drinking too much.
Because
of course,
because you're not
in
drinking
moderation.
enough.
Yeah,
but
is.
but sometimes like it's just me and my fucking my goddamn ADHD. I really I really like to just amplify things or just really like just for my mind. It just once I get a hit of something, I know it stimulates my brain. I want a lot of it.
Right.
And that's unfortunately that's what I did for the when I smoked. I abused it. I did way too much, and I that being said, if I was to go back to it, I would do my best in moderation so I can just for the tolerance too, and it's I was spending too much money too because I was smoking way too much of it.
Right.
But I just to me before CHS happened, there wasn't that many negative. I mean, besides like sometimes feeling a little hazy and whatnot. But like I said, like that was me not being moderate about it, which I should have. And just breaks are important, just like everything. Of course. Moderation. Yeah. Moderation. Just knowing that now and wishing that if that was a case. I wish that was simply just the case. It's just in moderation, Paul. Like, just don't do it too much, and these symptoms won't return. And then, I would try to be disciplined just for the sake because I love it and to redo it. But unfortunately, for right now, that's not the case until there's an actual cure.
Well, have you heard of that myth that to cure a hangover, got to continue drinking?
Drink a beer, yeah.
No, it's just simply dehydration. That's just stupid. That's what old wives do.
No, I'm just saying.
That's just dehydration, man. That's what alcohol does, and marijuana does that too. But it doesn't. For some reason, the effect is not as bad, or not really nearly as bad. And it's just when you return back to, going from impaired to not impaired, it's such a comfortable landing.
Yeah.
Versus alcohol, you drink way too much, you fucking crash it, man. You're fucked.
You feel it in your veins.
There's no comfortable landing. Marijuana, on the other hand, is just such a beautiful landing. Yeah.
Subjective.
You know who does
well, yes, you're right. You're right. Everybody's different because everybody reacts to it. But for me, certain strands, like it was just, man, it was just.
You know what
beautiful.
I think we can. You know what though?
Yeah.
There's something out there that doesn't have a crash.
Acid.
Doesn't have.
I love it.
Doesn't have.
I need to go back on acid.
Yeah.
I need substitute.
Well, and what else we got in your pocket here?
Yeah.
Fucking shrooms.
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet.
Hunter S.
I meant to do that.
Where your aviators at?
Yeah, you got some black tar heroin you got?
Mr. Taylor Peak.
Are you riding with the Hells Angels or what?
No, I wanted to do some mushrooms. I want to go on a spiritual journey with Taylor Peak.
Well, you know what? When the going gets weird, the weird turn pro.
Damn right.
That's right.
I am Jake.
HST, but go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry.
No. I was going to suggest black tar heroin, maybe some Mexican
that's
super
too hard
meth.
to get to.
What?
What?
No, it's a dude off 529.
Yeah, they're laying tar right now.
What?
Hey, hold on. Why don't you stop production here?
Right.
I need to get some of this black tar.
Yeah.
This street can wait.
That's right.
This street can wait.
Wait a little bit. Well, I will say this though. I did want to touch on this. There is so Sweden has adopted a new technique to treating drug addicts.
Oh, what is it?
Hardcore drug addicts. Here's what they do.
Is it okay? Go on.
No, here's what they do. It's a government program, and what they do is they offer free drugs, clean free drugs twice a day. So what they do is they give you come in the morning, you come in the afternoon, they load it, pure, super clean heroin, whatever. They give it to you. They let you shoot it, smoke it, whatever.
Right.
Then you leave.
Right.
Then they give you massive support, housing, job, things that your life improves.
Right.
And they've found within 15 months, 80%. Let's say that again. 80% of those people are off drugs.
Wow.
Nice.
Because their lives improve.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you try to get a hardcore drug addict to stop cold turkey, it's like, you ever know those long vinyl mats that has all this water and you jump in it and you slide about maybe 10 feet?
Slip and slide?
Slip and slide. There you go.
Is that a Mexican thing?
No. Josh knows all about that.
Yeah. Well, I grew up around it.
Well, no, drunken nights going on that slip and slide. It is a slip and slide. Yeah. But think about it. If there was no water and you're running, you're the drug addict, and you want to get to the end of that slip and slide, there's no water. It's all going to be fucking friction. Your chest,
like a motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the same thing.
Withdrawals.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the same thing with a drug addict. You need to have that water like what you're saying.
Support.
Well, yeah.
Not only the support, but maybe another dose of drugs or something.
Right.
But a safe.
You're talking about
safe-
heroin too. You can't just go cold turkey.
Yeah,
man.
you'll
That'll
die.
fucking kill you.
Yeah,
like,
it will.
you
Okay,
have
so
to wean
they started
off
with
that.
black tar heroin. We just got regular heroin.
Yeah,
That what
there
you're
we
trying to
go.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
From premium to average, my friend, and then
Right.
we go from that to you dwindle and you just go down. To nothing.
But I wanted to bring it up because it's an interesting concept because here in America we treat them exactly the opposite.
yeah, they're fucking throw them in jail, let them rot, let them fucking suffer.
You
It's
want to open
terrible.
up that can.
Right. You fucked your life
We
up.
totally
Yeah.
can open it.
Well,
open
yeah,
up that
that's
can.
it's a
Well, no, I'm
can. That's
down for
another
that.
can we're opening. But yeah, but
Yeah.
I see what you mean though. Like that support goes a long way. It really does, and that does make a difference.
Well, and
But,
there's
we're going
empirical
off
and there's
subject, but-
empirical data to back that up. I mean,
Yeah.
they've seen a drastic increase in
Yeah. What country was this again?
Sweden.
Sweden.
You can look that
Okay.
up.
Swedes.
See, the prob-
Sweden.
Go ahead. What's the
No,
problem?
I'm
Hashtag
not
Sweden.
even going to say it.
No, what's the problem?
No.
What's the problem?
I'm not going to say it. No, because that's going
Why?
to open up a whole.
Yeah,
now you
we
gotta
don't want
say
to divert too much,
Yeah,
but
no. It'll go political, and I don't. I'm not
we
gonna
don't
say
need to
it.
do
Let's
that.
not do
Yeah,
that.
Rob's not
Yeah,
here for that.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
you know.
So-
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah, but yeah, go ahead. Anything?
But you know what?
Yeah.
My final thoughts, pretty to what I conclude, and from what I've been reading, other people saying, like I said, it's just speculation and theory. Unfortunately, at this point, till we get real answers to this. Essentially, for me personally, I was a chronic user, and I abused it, and I reached a point to where it became toxic, and it's like an allergy. I became allergic to it, and that's as simple as that. Accepting that and understanding that, it just it makes a hell of a difference, and it just makes it easier to to abstain. Unfortunately, but I want, one day I'd love to smoke again.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, I think possibly too just what we have access to, and it just might be too strong.
yeah. Let me ask you.
My theory is that it's just a lot of people think that they're freaking scientists and they're cross breeding this shit, and
That's a possibility.
there's
You
a
never
natural
know.
effect on this.
Right.
Yeah.
Not some
There's
regular,
That's assumption.
regular
Yeah, but
Mexican gold.
Compared to like 40, 50 years, like
Yeah.
we.
Yeah.
Standard shit.
It's changed
Some shit that
dramatically.
grew in the ground.
A lot of things,
Like why
Modified.
if you grow inside your closet, will that do something compared to when you grow outside? Because you
Well,
need that.
Indo
What
versus
if
outdo?
that vitamin D
Uh-huh.
that you get from the sun
Wait.
is pure and that helps?
I thought that was a whole. Wait, people actually can do without it?
Yeah,
Well,
bro.
They're using,
I don't know.
They're
I don't
using
know much
these
about
lamps.
You grow with
and
these
you grow it
lamps.
you grow it inside your
Versus
closet.
vitamin D. Actual
And vitamin D, like some people, we need vitamin D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever think about it. Whenever you get into a confrontation with somebody,
Right.
and you develop this, the adrenaline, and that's that energy because we're bred and we evolved into like we're going to use this energy to fucking fight and
Right.
survive.
Fight or flight, right?
But we go outside, or we do like 10, 30 pushes. We have to do something with that energy. So we
Oh,
go
yeah.
out
Yeah, yeah.
and we absorb the sun. We just calm, smoke a cigarette. We do something to calm our
something.
nerves,
Smoke a
right?
fag, yeah.
So that vitamin D, that sun is very powerful, and it's something that we all need.
Yeah,
so if you're growing a plant out there with that vitamin D,
Right.
that may be the proper way to smoke marijuana instead of buying the shit that's grown inside.
Possibly.
Out,
Like I said,
outdo
Outdo
instead
better
of
than
indo.
Indo.
yeah. Well, like I said, I don't know, like with the
I'm
people
gonna
that.
smoking my shit if you're talking about my shit.
Like I said too, but some
right, big
people
perm.
have homegrown this, and I don't know how their process is.
These
But
assumptions, man. I don't know what the
I
fuck I'm talking
understand.
about.
I
you know?
understand. I'm just saying, like, but people say they still got CHS because of it, but I don't know. I don't know if they homegrown it. I mean, or got
they're just calling
sun-related
their
or
dealer. I'm
lamps.
sure they're not. They're just going to the dispensary or their dealer. They're not like.
I say
hey,
most people are like, where did you get this shit from?
Right.
Yeah,
Where
they
did you
wouldn't
find
know.
it? I mean, yeah,
They
exactly. I'm
wouldn't
like,
know.
I need some fucking
They-
pot, man.
Yeah,
Look
even
it
when
up.
he asks, like, what's the strain? Hey, man, weed's weed. Man, not today, it isn't. Not
Not
That's
today,
true.
bro. There's some Cinderella 99.
There's some fucking no, man.
Sour
Goddamn,
diesel,
I miss
there's-
fucking King Louis, Trainwreck.
get
Oh
outta
my
here.
god, I'm gonna cry. I can't talk about this anymore.
What is Skywalker?
Skywalker, yes.
White
Oh,
Widow.
my
White Widow.
God.
Ultra 98.
Fucking
druggies
what's that
here.
one sativa?
What's
was
that
good
lemon
I
one,
had? A Blue Dream. Oh my god, that was amazing.
Yeah, that
Have you had
was.
Blue Dream?
No, my wife has.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta stop talking about it. I want to smoke so bad. It's an addict talking.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Were you a sativa or an indica?
Indica. But sativa, Blue Dream was a sativa I loved. Blue Dream was amazing.
That's the problem. That's the problem. We
Amazing.
categorize this shit.
No, there's not. Everybody's
No. It's like it's like vinyls. How many grams is this fucking vinyl?
Jacob,
come on, it's a fucking vinyl.
Jacob, look,
you know what I mean?
Look, when I smoked, when I initially smoked, there was a reason why I didn't like it. I didn't know. Like there was certain.
I know. I'm busting balls.
I know.
I'm busting balls, man.
When I was 16, when
I'm an
when I
IPA
smoked,
drinker myself.
Yeah, I mean, everybody it's just different strains. Are, like Will Rogers, I'll give you credit for this.
Yeah, you full named him.
Look, no, he said it best. He said it best. Different strains for different brains. And that makes a lot of fucking sense because a lot of things reciprocate with me, and a lot of things, a lot of different strains didn't. And it's just different people like react to different strains, But also, other people don't reciprocate as well to marijuana as so much, as others. It's just not for everybody, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I'm with you.
I know. I was just trying to throw my 2 cents in it. I just couldn't help it. Sorry.
Yeah. Well,
you know me,
yeah.
Ultra Rob. I don't know what that meant, but yeah.
Near.
I love you, Rob. Probably. Go ahead,
it's just my whole thing to that was that people like to categorize everything.
Yeah.
And that's just the weed. I'm just talking about like fucking cameras, like.
What you're saying, lumping everything like one
labels.
One,
no.
Labels
Like,
on
I don't want to buy that camera because the
it's
frame
a
rates.
Nikon or
the frame rates. It doesn't shoot 120 FPS or shit like that, right? But it comes down to like the person handling that camera, to create the content, right?
The same thing with guns, right?
Preference, yeah.
I guess, right? Well,
it is.
How? In what way?
Some people are like, man, Glocks are shit. I can't shoot that. It's terrible. And some people are like, oh, Glocks are the best thing
Those people are fucking
ever.
idiots.
Yeah. Well, then
that
comes down to preference. Then that's what I'm saying.
Preference, motherfucker.
We're talking about cameras here, man, and weed.
Okay, well, I threw guns in there. So
I don't
it is
shoot.
What it is.
Goddamn conservatives.
Look, I want the
Glocks,
ATF out here, okay? I want the whole ATF out here, okay?
Oh,
I really don't. Just clarify.
Yeah. So, weed, yay or nay?
I want to say yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
I want to return to my love one day. I love it. We'll reunite one day.
Right now, she's a cold bitch.
Oh, yeah. She's a cunt on wheels. Oh, God. I hate it.
See you next Tuesday. Absolutely.
She's a see you next Tuesday.
That's cunt. And
oh, is there something wrong with saying that?
no.
I'm referring to a plant, not a woman.
No.
Named Mary Jane.
Mary Jane.
Oh, we'll reunite one day, babe. We'll reunite.
Yeah. We'll have to, on a later one, we'll have to do your ode to Mary Jane.
Okay.
Come back, baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
So, Paul, what was do you remember the first time you smoked weed?
Yes. It was terrible.
Was it?
Yeah. We talked about it on one of our earlier episodes too, but just a quick recap. But
quick one.
I was 16,
right?
And I never
strong
forgot this.
back, hard dick, ready to go. Yeah. 16.
A close friend of mine at the time, he told me, because I played trumpet, he's like, hey, man, you got an extra mouthpiece for your trumpet? Like, yeah. Just bring it. Come over and bring it. Why? Just bring it. Come over. Like, all right, I brought it. And he had some weed, and he fucking makeshift a bong with a water bottle. It was hilarious. Fucking, typical water MacGyver. Yeah, everybody's got a MacGyver. Fucking
the apple, the Coke can,
he was one of them. I smoke so fucking much, and it's funny because, like I said, in my ADHD, like I get really impatient, and I had no control back then of that. And so I wanted results fast, and I wanted it quick. And I kept smoking. I didn't feel shit, so I kept doing it till I finally felt something. But when I finally felt something, I was completely gone.
Damn.
Everything looked like it was like in I don't know. It was like an old film, like from the '60s. Everything seemed muffled, or audio wise, visually, everything. Yeah, all seemed like it was just kind of some glare, and it just wasn't as clear. It was really fucked up, and I was so high. My friend lived like 20 or 15 minutes away, and that ride took like 2 hours.
That's the best kind of ride.
It seemed like it took 2 hours.
That's kind of high, man.
Yeah, and I ate Jack in a Box, and I threw up the following morning, and it was disgusting. I didn't go back to school. I mean,
that's where I didn't go to school for that
started. And that's where it started, folks. Yeah. That's where it started.
I didn't smoke after that for a while.
Yeah, that's where so Jack in the Box tacos and weed. Don't do
CHS,
it. It'll give you
baby.
CHS.
If only that was the cause, man. Fuck J-Bo's and her tacos.
Yeah.
And on that note, I hope Jake.
I am fucking Paul.
And I'm Big Josh.
Good night.
Good night.